Hey, I'm Angie.
And I'm Ryan.
And we are
Happy Healthy Vegan guys.
So kind of continuing on a thought that I put out a couple episodes ago. We just kind of want to dial it back and get back to the basics here in Happy Healthy Vegan, letting you know a little bit more about your hosts and why we're vegan.
Yeah, everyone seems to have a different story, and I've met many people have many different reasons for why they became vegan. We're going to share ours here with you.
Or how we got here.
Yeah.
So if you've seen our weight loss journey videos, and tens of thousands of people have apparently.
And you can see how we ate for a long period of time, many years.
Yeah, and you can see how it's been kind of like just like a evolution and a journey with twists and turns. But I'd have to say that my journey started in 1984 with this little unassuming 45 from a Texas band called MDC.
Punk rock.
Yeah, so in this case MDC stands for Millions of Dead Children. And they had a B-side called Chicken Squawk, which is basically
chicken eating.
Yeah, specifically anti-Kentucky Fried Chicken. And inside this 45 is just a little pamphlet. I'm not sure who this group is. It's called Are You Really That Hungry? And this information was so advanced, I really didn't even understand it until recently.
Until recently, you pulled it out and go, wow, this is basically an argument for becoming a raw vegan in 1984. Like, 84. Wow, still ahead of their time. And the information's pretty darn good.
Yeah, it's still accurate. It talks about how meat production is actually starving. Back then, everyone was talking about Ethiopians. How
there was a drought and famine there.
Yeah. So the same. If Westerners were not growing cattle for food, that we could feed Ethiopia. And I was like, oh my God, they're so right. And then they went on about all these other horrors in raising animals for food. And so their argument was cogent. And so what me and two of my friends did, who also had the 45, we said, okay, for lunch, we will no longer go meet our friends to go eat, chicken and potato logs. We're only getting potato logs, no more chicken for us. And then it just went on from there. And so that's when I gave up meat. It was way back in '84. But the dairy thing was kind of like on and off over the years. But when I started dating Ryan in late '98, I was what I would probably term like a junk food vegan, I guess. I was really into shopping at Trader Joe's and getting their soy milk and all their different soy products and vegan cookies and fake meats and all of that. So I was into that when Ryan and I met. And then it's just been a journey from there, as you guys kind of know.
Yeah, the way I got onto it was I was young too, probably around that time, maybe a little bit older. I was still living at home, and I guess it was my spiritual journeys at the time led me to like Hare Krishna temples and meals, and I started learning about vegetarianism from them, eating at their restaurants and temples, and food's awesome. I still love their food.
Yeah, I went there a few times. Hey, now they bring it to Long Beach. You're gonna eat their kitchery downtown. And
yeah, I was into it, but I was limited by I couldn't really cook it. I didn't know how. My mom ran the kitchen at home, so I was vegetarian for maybe 5-6 months or something like that, and it didn't really end on any particular day. I think it just became more difficult to do without having my own life figured out. So when I met Angie, she could tell I was very I was still eating meat and dairy then, but I was very vegetarian, vegan friendly, open.
Yeah, you were definitely open to it. You weren't one of those guys like has to barbecue in the backyard or crazy stuff like that.
But what stoked me out those 5-6 months is the same thing that stoked me out about maybe around 2009-10 on a trip to San Francisco. I think we were there about a week, and I managed to have every meal at every place vegan. They often had like a vegetarian option and a vegan option. I'd go for the vegan ones. And I found they were just as good, just as filling. And the thing that stoked me then, that stoked me 20 years back, was no animals had to die for me to live. A lot of people say, oh, it's this weird paradox of life. You have to kill in order to live. That's BS, guys. You can live strictly off plant-based foods. No animals have to die. So I think that was the most important thing for me, knowing that they don't have to die. And secondly, the health benefits. We all know that eating a plant-based diet works wonders for your health. Slims you down. It prevents and reverses a lot of the top 10 diseases and cancers that Americans or people around the world get. Just a win-win-win. and the environmental benefits, as your punk rock record said there. World starvation could just end.
The way it really works is that you have to use a lot of water to grow a lot of grain, to feed the cattle a lot of food. So all of that's gone to waste just to raise the cattle to adulthood so you can slaughter it. Now, but also in that process, the cows are defecating, and that's getting all into
water table.
And the cows are filled with drugs. We all know about all the drugs that the cows are filled with, so all that's getting into the water table.
Same with the human drugs.
Yeah, and then that stuff's washing into the rivers, oceans, and is destroying all the ecosystem there. Besides which, they're clear cutting tons of forests. Like for instance, during Ryder says, and it's really bad.
Australia is clear cut.
Australia, the outback steakhouse, right? So it's all cleared for cattle.
Because all their cattle are grass fed there, so they roam Australia, and all the trees are gone.
And you hear about how so much land in Brazil is all being cut down to grow cattle. Rainforest, which we need for oxygen, for the plants that are in there, for all the magical things that we haven't even yet discovered there, being clear cut, and all the animals that were living in there peacefully, those are being destroyed so that we can grow the cattle, so that we can ship it all around the world to McDonald's so that people can eat hamburgers. And then you know what happens when you eat all the hamburgers and the cheese? Then you get sick and you get diseases and you die. And there's more drugs in your system, and then the drugs are going into the urine, to the toilet, into the water system, yada yada yada. It just goes on and on and on. There's no benefits.
You gotta think of all this. The health, the environmental, the ethical, it's all tied together.
Oh, the methane gas from the cows farts, also destroying...
Methane is a more powerful greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide by a factor of, I forgot, 10 or 100 or something like that.
If I wasn't so excited, I'd make a really cogent argument, I swear. But I mean, there's so much information about this online now. In '84, all my information was contained on a 45 record. Like I didn't know the half of it. But today, there's absolutely no excuse. It's like when I see young people smoking, it's like, wait a minute, you have all the information about how smoking will give you cancer and kill you. Then now it's like you have all the information about why eating meat destroys your health and the environment. So why would you still eat it? It's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's my stance on that. It's crazy!
This is it, man.
That's why.
It makes no sense to not be vegan on any level. We'll look at health, we'll look at the future of the planet. Go vegan.
Yeah.
That's why we're proud.
So yes, we made weight loss videos, but it's really just to convince people to go vegan, that we'll only do it for vanity's sake. And if you're watching this because you want to go vegan for vanity's sake, that's fantastic, and that's a first step. That's a first step.
That's cool, and I'm vain too. I love being athletic and having energy and being super fit. So don't get me wrong, I love that aspect of it too. For me, it all works together, all those reasons.
Yeah. So that was a very impassioned episode. I don't know what your comments will be, but maybe you've had some similar thoughts.
Yeah, share with us how you've found veganism. What led you? Maybe
you can make your own YouTube video about why you became vegan, because we could use more vegan messages out there on YouTube.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So, follow us if you'd like some more vegan lifestyle information.
Subscribe.
Recipes, etc., etc. And hopefully you like the video. And until next time, keep it carb, baby.
Keep it carb.
Plant-based.
For the win.
Yes.